Okay, good evening all, and I would like to welcome everyone to our meeting tonight. All members of council and our planner, Megan Tierney, and any members of the public that are joining us this evening. I would like to indicate that this meeting has been called to hear an application under the Planning Act that require a public meeting and for council or the Committee of Adjustment to consider any decisions related to those relevant applications. Meetings of council are live streamed on the township's official website in accordance with the live streaming and virtual participation of meetings policy. By attending this meeting, attendees and participants are consenting to their image, voice, and comments being recorded and available for public viewing on the township's website. Do any members of council have a pecuniary interest or general nature thereof to indicate at this time of our agenda? Thank you for that. We will now entertain a mover and a seconder to adjourn our council meeting, and that would be Deputy Mayor Vanstone and Councillor Hickey. That Ashfield-Colborne-Wawanosh Council hereby adjourns the regular council meeting and opens the Committee of Adjustment meeting to review minor variance application MV-2024-06 McClellan. All in favor of this motion? And that is carried. Thank you. We will now call our Committee of Adjustment meeting to order. And do any members of council have a pecuniary interest or general nature thereof to indicate of this agenda item? No. Seeing none, I thank you for that. We will be reviewing minor variance application file MV-2024-06 McClellan. We have been provided the report by our county planner, and now I would invite Megan to make any comments that you would care to at this time. Megan.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. I hope you can hear me. We are here to talk about minor variance application MV-06 2024 tonight. It is located at 83411 David Drive. Here you can see a 2020 aerial photo of the property. The orange line is, or like the light orange line is the 25-year erosion hazard for Maitland Valley. And then more to the east is a brownish line, which is the 100-year erosion line. This is the existing elevation of the property. So we have the original cottage is 1 story on piers. And in the 90s, an addition was added with a 2nd story and more of a full foundation. So you can see the existing elevations there. This is the proposed elevations. It is proposed to be a full 2-story structure, same building footprint, but they are going to extend the 2nd story over top of the original cottage. So we didn't have any agency comments. MVCA had no concern with the development. They have already issued a permit. There was a geotech report that was provided as part of their review, and they had no concerns with that. ACW had no concerns with the development, but did want to know that they're continuing to work towards obtaining the building and septic permits. We had one public comment come in. I'm just going to summarize that. There was concern that the work will create waste, noise, and disturb local vegetation and wildlife. They were concerned that the neighborhood character is at risk, that it is a modest single-family cottages and year-round dwelling. They do not want to see Airbnbs and increased garbage and noise on the beach. Historically, the bank has failed and has been altered. They do not want to see the restoration project jeopardized. Some comments back to that, I did speak with the neighbor that was concerned. The same footprint is being proposed to be built It will still be modest in size, and the intention of the applicant is not to use it for an Airbnb. This is their cottage. That was not a concern to them. The bank failure did happen in 2009. Van Driel did the restoration work. From our inspection today, Brett and I went out to the site and we did take a look at it. The vegetation is growing beautifully. There are no signs of failure on the slope. The geotech report supports the same. So it is my recommendation that the Township of Ashfield-Colborne-Wawanosh approve minor variance application MV06 2024 on the basis that it is minor in nature and that the erosion hazard of Lake Huron has been adequately addressed with that geotechnical study and MVCA reviewing it.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Megan. As this is a public meeting, I will now open it up for any comments of the public that would like to speak in opposition to this application. Is there any members of the public that would like to speak in favor of this application? Would the applicant care to make any comments? If you do, please go to the podium and introduce yourself, first and last name.
Great. Good evening, Mayor McNeil and Council. My name is John McClellan. My wife and I purchased the property at 83411 David Drive in July of 2022 and are looking to renovate the existing cottage. As such, we are seeking approval of a minor variance and relief of the 100-year top of bank setback. The existing cottage, as Megan has accurately described here, was built in the early 70s and a single story on a sonotube foundation. In addition, was put on in the early 90s with a full basement foundation and 2 stories above. Our proposed renovation is to stay within the existing footprint, improve the sonotube foundation, and put a 2nd story across the overall footprint. Throughout this process, we have hired experienced and knowledgeable professionals to help us navigate through and comply with required regulations, bylaws, and permitting. Just to respond to the comments made in opposition to the minor variance application, we do believe our proposed renovation is modest in nature and in keeping with other cottages and permanent residences in the area. The cottage is for us and our family. We have no desire or intent to provide short-term rental or Airbnb for the cottage. We enjoy the tranquility and privacy this area provides, so we too are concerned about any increased garbage, disruption, or noise. I am aware that there was a partial slide of the bank down towards Cedar Bank Drive in or around 2009. Unfortunately, the previous owners of the property were not able to provide us the much information or documentation of the remedial work done at that time. I was able to confirm who the contractor was that did the slope stability work and believe the design was from a local engineering consultant. However, researchers have been unable to furnish a report from that time period. Professionally, I have worked with both the contractor and engineering consultant on a number of capital projects and know their work to be of high standards. As of today, the slope stability work appears to be functioning as designed, and there is no evidence of other failures, slumps, or tension cracks along the top of the bank. And this has been confirmed from our geotechnical engineer. I will agree with the neighbor in opposition that the bank is restored and thriving, and our intentions are to ensure that remains the case. It is also our hope to renovate and restore the cottage so it can once again thrive for our family and future generations. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much for your well-spoken comments, sir. I'll now open it up to council. If we have any questions or comments of our planner on this application, I'll go first with Councillor Milton-Burke.
Don't push the button. No. Okay. Thank you, Megan, and thank you also for the well-spoken comments. The fact that it is in the 25-year and the 100-year, particularly the 25-year, and I assume it's legal non-conforming, we would issue a permit today, did give me pause, but I was very happy with the geotechnical report and the amount of due diligence that's been done. So my question is more to the process. Was that, geotechnical report a condition of this, or did the applicant come up with the idea, or is it traditional that we make somebody in, you know, the erosion zone do it? Because we do have a lot of properties that are concerned in this area.
Thank you for that. Megan, please.
Yeah, so it wasn't a condition of the minor variance application. They had already taken it upon themselves to do that for Maitland Valley Conservation Authority. It was a condition of their permit to get that done. And this application was reviewed under their previous regulations. And so they are allowing this to continue because it was reviewed under their old regulations. If it were to come in today, it could be a different story. So that's why we are reviewing it along with Maitland Valley under their previous regulations.
Well, it sounds like there's a good steward of the land and happy with this application.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any further questions or comments of council? And if not, I would entertain a mover and a seconder for approval of this. And that would be moved by Councillor Miltenberg, seconded by Councillor Hickey, that Ashfield-Colborne-Wawanosh Committee of Adjustment approved the minor variance application MV-2024-06 McClellan on the basis that it is minor in nature and the erosion hazard of Lake Huron has been adequately addressed through the geotechnical study. And further that the approval be subject to the following conditions, and that number one, the proposed structure be constructed consistently with the site plan submitted with the application to the satisfaction of the township's chief building official. And secondly, that the variance application be valid for a period of 18 months from the date of the committee's decision. All in favor of the motion say. And that is carried. I thank you. Megan, what effective public and agency comments would you suggest to us on this decision, please?
Okay, so I have effective public and agency comments as 5A. Public comments were received on the issues of disturbance during construction, the possibility of it turning into an Airbnb, and the stability of the slope. Comments were thoroughly considered, but the effect did not influence the decision of council to approve the application. And 3B, agency comments were received in support of the application, the effect of which resulted in a decision to approve the application.
Thank you very much. So it has been recommended that the effective public and agency comments on this application be 5A and 3B. And I'll ask for a show of hands to support this. And that is supported. I thank you very much. And thank you very much, Megan, for your presentation on this and for the comments of the applicant. With that, I would entertain a mover and a seconder to adjourn our public meeting, and that would be Councillor Snoblin. And, oh, she's not. Okay. What about, oh, okay, all right. So a mover and a seconder, and that would be Councillor Deputy Mayor Vanstone and Miltenberg. That Ashfield-Colborne-Wawanosh Township Council closes the public meeting committee of adjustment. All in favor of this motion? And that is carried. And now I will entertain a mover and a seconder to reconvene our regular council meeting. And that is Councillor Hickey and Miltenberg, that we reconvene our meeting. All in favor of this motion? And that is carried. I thank you. We do not have any other planning items or bylaws, and so I would entertain a mover and a seconder for the confirmatory bylaw, please. Miltenberg and Deputy Mayor Vanstone. The lead be given to introduce bylaw number 49-2024, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Township of Ashfield-Colborne-Wawanosh Council meeting held on August 6, 2024. And now be read severally, a first, second, and third time, and finally passed the 6th day of August 2024. All in favor of the motion? And that is carried. And now a mover and a seconder for adjournment, please. Councillor Hickey and Miltenberg, that Ashfield-Colborne-Wawanosh Township Council does now adjourn to meet again on August 13th, 2024 at 9 a.m. or call the mayor. All in favor of the motion? And that is carried. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks very much to all.